Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. This is NXT. That's enough of that. Welcome everybody to What's NXT for May 13th.
May 13th.
Yes, May 13th, 2020. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne, joined as per usual by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good evening, wrestling fans.
Tonight, it was a different show. Different kind of show. We started off the show with the tag team title match, and it seemed a little odd to me that we were going to start the show with the title match. The one title match tonight. Going to open this broadcast. What do we think about this, Jerry?
I was actually kind of hoping this was going to go the way that I've been predicting for the past week or so, but it didn't to some extent.
Not exactly.
It didn't go exactly, but the end result is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, Jen Zaleski.
Yeah, Jen is no doubt happy with this.
So we've got Matt Riddle and Tim Thatcher, who's filling in for right now for
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne, thank you. And they're facing Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel of Imperium, and this is where Imperium finally gets the titles.
Thank God! I would have rather them win in a match where both participants actually stuck around, but this is just as sweet because it gets the belts on like Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner, which is something that's been needed for quite some time.
Oh, yes, most definitely. These guys have been at the peak of the tag division in both NXT UK and the few times that they come over to NXT. I mean, even in defeat, they always look good. They give you an entertaining match from beginning to end. They have got so many tag moves.
Yep.
You see some of these teams that have supposedly been together for years, some of them a decade, and they have, for a tag team repertoire, these dudes have got like 5 or 6, like legit, both of them have to be there to do the move together. Like, it started with that basement drop kick in the corner with the opponent tied up. They haven't even done that all that much lately. We haven't seen that in a few weeks.
They did it tonight.
You know what? Quit calling out me not paying attention. Okay, apparently they did it.
That's what I was saying. He aimed a little higher. Like Marcel Bartel actually aimed a little higher and hit the chest. So,
is there anybody in the chat room? I don't see anybody yet.
Not yet.
Maybe I haven't loaded. Oh, Cleaver Colin Andrew says, "Hey dudes, hey Colin, Israel Diaz, how you doing, Israel? Our favorite fan." He says, "Finally, Imperium won the tag team champions. Word, brother." Fuck. Finally.
It would have been much sweeter in front of the crowd, but a win's a win. Or in this case, you know, a victory.
So what happens here is that Matt Riddle is fighting for the hot tag to get Tim Thatcher in the ring, and he keeps getting thwarted by Marcel Bartel, and they keep going to the same move, and I was like, what the fuck are they doing here? Marcel Bartel keeps trying to get him in a waist lock.
He eventually was going to get pantsed is what was going to happen.
Yeah, he keeps grabbing him by his trunks. Anyway, Matt Riddle ends up getting out of the grasp of Marcel Bartel by monkey flipping him, but he monkey flips him into Tim Thatcher, knocking him off of the apron. And he gets up from that and he's like, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah.
He's mad. He's pissed. He's like, what is this shit? We were just supposed to come here and defend these titles. Like, what is going on? I'm no longer okay with this, and he leaves. And Matt Riddle is like, what's going on? What's up, man? Why are you leaving? What are you yelling, man?
He bails like hay.
Matt Riddle fends off the first European bomb. That's the last ride power bomb from Fabian Eichner with a European uppercut off the middle rope from Marcel Bartel. Fends it off, hits a bro to sleep to one guy, and then
Eichner.
a high knee, that flash knee strike to another,
Dark
but
out.
ends up getting put right down with a spine buster into that penalty kick, and then right up into the European bomb. 1, 2, 3. We have new tag team champs. Woo woo!
Mm-hmm.
So happy. So happy.
There's much rejoicing. Hurrah!
I think we go to commercial at this point. When we come back, we find out, I guess, they don't really say it, but you kind of got to pay attention to these things. They run this little promo for the continuation of the Cruiserweight Championship Tournament. Notice I said Cruiserweight Championship Tournament. They have completely dropped the word interim. I first noticed this. They were going into it, and I think it was Byron Saxton had said something. It was Byron, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why he's on this show. But anyway, he had said the interim Cruiserweight Championship, and they cut out the word interim. He put such a long pause before the word Cruiserweight Championship Tournament, and I'm like, what? But then I realized, no, that was silence. They cut him saying interim.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to get an announcement soon if there isn't already one that we missed. Anybody in the chat room, if you know of an announcement that we missed, let us know.
That's what I was saying. Like, tomorrow we're supposed to be getting a Jordan Devlin interview done by that announcer on NXT UK. I forgot what his name is. The one that looks like Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, I had it for a second.
Andy Shepherd. Andy Shepherd's going to be doing an interview with him at 2:30 Eastern Time on Instagram. So maybe he'll have to relinquish the belt then.
This is looking like it because by all verbiage, they not once did they say the word interim on this entire show.
Yep.
And so I'm just saying. Meanwhile, we get an interview with Tim Thatcher, and he's just complaining like things that I said before. You know, he just signed on to help defend the titles. Riddle was supposed to knock him out. He was supposed to make him tap out. And instead, Riddle's doing all these, like, game show antics and this crap in the ring. And he was just done with it. He wants to be champions. But if it means being champions with, what does he call him? A hot mess. He calls him a hot mess. Then he'd rather not. Anyway, Riddle approaches him, gets maybe a few words in. We can't hear what it is, and the brawl ensues.
Pretty much, bro. What was that all about?
Yeah, well, this is going to become a match, I'm sure. I'm real sure.
Foreshadowing.
I'm sure. Meanwhile, there is a match: Tegan Nox versus Indy Hartwell, who I guess we haven't seen yet, and that'll tell you something.
Yeah.
Tell you who's going to win this match. Who's going to win this match, Jerry?
That would be the owner of the shittiest wizard, Tegan Nox.
False, Indy Hartwell. I'm just kidding. Tegan Nox wins.
Indy Hartwell didn't really impress me much in this match, but it's also, I think, her first match on NXT television that wasn't a battle royal or some shit.
Let me tell you something. For most of the trend that we see when these people debut on NXT, she really wasn't that bad. She didn't and by that I mean she didn't stand out as bad. Usually when we see somebody make their debut, they honest to God stand out as kind of bad and green and shit. Mm-hmm. She seemed just fine.
And she was actually interacting very well, like shouting at Tegan, taunting her almost the entire match, and that's the kind of shit you have to do for an empty arena match. You have to keep people engaged. And it's hard to do when the crowd's not there to cheer them on.
Yeah, she was the bigger woman in the match, and they played into that a little bit. This match was okay. I've got one note, I think, maybe two.
I think she'll actually be a player after a while, but for right now, the women's division is red hot, really. So. Once somebody else maybe leaves, maybe she'll move up a spot or something. But for right now, I really don't see much in the cards for her.
If my notes are any indication here, Indy Hartwell actually did better in this match than Tegan Nox. Mm-hmm. And my few notes are... So, Nox goes to do one of those defensive, get out of the way moves where Hartwell's running at her and she's at the ropes. Where she, normally somebody will grab the top rope, pull it down, and the person will run themselves over the top rope.
Yeah.
See, Nox grabs the middle rope, and still somehow Hartwell still runs over the top rope and flips to the outside. Just why, I don't know. She ends up getting back on the apron and does a slingshot, comes into a choke catch that ends up having to be readjusted. And if this shit is taped, why show the readjustment? So Knox with another botch, blundery. Anyway, she does hit that choke slam, ends up hitting that cannonball, that running senton splash into the corner that she gets from the wild boar.
Yep.
Mike Hitchman.
Big ups to NXT UK. We miss you guys.
We miss you guys so much. Hits a diving crossbody off the top rope, follows it with the shittiest wizard. 1, 2, 3. Of course, Tegan Knox wins. She was facing somebody that's never wrestled before.
And this was kind of like a throwaway. This was kind of a throwaway match. There was no implications to it or anything. Later on, we get some words out of her former partner, but otherwise, no real growth from Tegan Knox here.
Well, I don't know if you really get implications out of most of the matches that you see, but I mean,
I don't know. Most of the NXT matches I see, they're leading to something else or a result of something else.
There you go.
Yeah.
Story. Speaking of story, we get a Rhea Ripley promo, and she's talking about Charlotte, and yeah, she knows Charlotte beat her, but the view of Charlotte walking around with her title sickens her.
It makes her sick.
And she says she's not finished with her because she beat her once, but she's going to come back for the title and win it back for NXT. Io Shirai was great, but she couldn't get it done, even though we don't know for sure that she couldn't get it done because the match didn't end with a pinfall or a submission.
Charlotte Flair had the result of a kendo stick.
So it looks like it's going to be her versus Io because she said she's going to get Io out of the way and then go for Charlotte. And looks like it's going to be a Rhea versus Io. Jerry, any thoughts about Rhea Ripley other than just being happy to see her pretty face?
That's all. She's got those stupid braids out of her hair, so I'm happy.
She's such a cutie.
Chris Mace is in the chat room now, so hey, Chris.
What up? Davies in the chat room.
Yeah.
Conveniently skipped over him. What did he say? First dislike of the night. Word, dude. Thanks for the view. He says, waking up the cancer with that cig. Waking up the cancer?
Yeah, he makes no sense.
I mean, I could be making it worse.
Yeah.
Or, well, waking it up, I guess that's a...
I was about to say, I've had enough secondhand smoke that I should have died like 4 times just for my family alone, so...
What do you call it? It's a poetic way of saying, like, getting that cancer started.
Yeah, I'm guessing so, but he's not that close.
I mean, if you're wishing on me, that's kind of terrible. But still, thank you for the view. And if you have any constructive criticism, I will listen to that as well. Israel Diaz says, hi, Chris Mace.
Yep.
You're our fan, Israel. What the fuck? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
He's in the chat room. Let them talk.
You know what, Jerry? Let me joke with people. Matt Riddle is Skyping with William Regal backstage with a camera on him. Thanks, Regal, for giving him what he wants. What he wants is a match with Thatcher. Not next week. Not in a couple of weeks. He wants it tonight. Even after getting beat down 2-on-1 to finish that match, he still wants, and he's going to get it. He's going to get it. This is going to be the main event. But in the meantime, Thatcher's going to catch him off guard and hit him in the side, knock him over, and then grab a TV and put it in the back of his head. So this sets a brilliant main event. Riddle's going in injured against Thatcher, who, to be fairly honest, hasn't really established himself.
Nope.
So
this would be I guess you can almost call it his first singles match, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, his first singles match in NXT.
Karrion Kross. Oh wait, no wait. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead. Forgive me, folks. It happens. Tony Nese versus Jake Atlas. This is the next match in the Cruiserweight Championship
tournament,
round robin tournament.
Yeah.
This is match number 5 of 6 matches in Group A. So we're not going to see the final match in that group to determine whether or not we get a definitive winner that moves on until next week. In the meantime, to be able to keep things going, Jake Atlas needs a win.
Yeah.
He's got 1 win, 1 loss. In order to even think about moving on, he needs to force it to 2-1 and hope for a 3-way tie.
And even before the match, he's talking more about his hopes for Drake Maverick winning than he is actually about his own match.
Meanwhile, Tony he needs Drake Maverick to win in order to force a tie. Otherwise, what's his name? Kushida.
Yeah.
Goes up 3-0, and there's no tie. There's no chance of anybody beating him.
But
he moves on.
That's what I'm thinking. I think Jake Atlas can come out there and either distract Kushida or
he'll help him win.
Yeah.
Just to force the tie and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Then it'll be 2-on-1, or it'll end up being a triple threat to find out who moves on. And during the triple threat, that's when he'll turn on Drake Maverick.
Mm-hmm. And send him home packing.
And it'll be him versus Akira Tozawa. Probably. I don't know. We get another match.
It's gotta be
and it is
Kushida
the
versus
fifth match in
Tozawa.
Group B, but that's later.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this match was all right for what it was.
Yeah.
It was certainly faster paced than most of the matches that we saw tonight. There wasn't a whole lot of ground and pound or submission holds.
Jake Atlas shows a lot of promise. Like I said that the last time we watched him wrestle, and this time around he actually showed against a former cruiserweight champion, and that rainbow DDT of his is just sick looking.
See, I've got Atlas kicking Nice off the middle rope. Like he kicks him in the back of the leg from the apron, which causes Nice to fall down and hit the back of his head to the top of the turnbuckle. That was cool. And then he gets up top and does that cartwheel DDT that he calls the rainbow DDT.
It's so innovative and cool looking.
It's pretty cool looking. That is the move that I wish that Damien Sandow had done. You know how he was always doing that queer looking cartwheel.
He did him back in OVW. He did him back in OVW too, and it was beautiful.
I always thought that should have been his finisher. He should have waited for an opponent to be on their belly trying to get up on all fours and then catch him with like a swinging neck breaker off of a cartwheel. Mm-hmm. Thought that would have been genius, but instead I can't remember. See, that's how bad it was. I can't remember what his finisher was. Nobody cares. Anyway, we get a Skype call. This isn't even backstage. Everybody's at home. But we get Adam Cole talking to Kyle O'Reilly.
Initially, just those two, which is great because I missed Kyle O'Reilly.
We finally find out where Kyle O'Reilly's been. He's been shooting a movie. It's really tough to determine how big of a movie it was.
It's probably another sequel to The Marine.
He's making it out to be a really big blockbuster thing, and so I feel like, it's going to be a straight-to-DVD combo pack with something else. And anyway, they are joined shortly by Bobby Fish, and they're like, oh, look, it's the original trio. And then they are shortly joined by Roderick Strong. And all four members of the Undisputed Era have a nice little Skype call. And they put down two people, Velveteen Dream for getting his ass whooped.
And Dexter Lumis for just being fucking weird.
Yeah, for being there and trying to help. And so they decide that Dexter Lumis needs to be dealt with. And they were going to determine somebody to deal with him. And everybody said a name at the same time. And everybody, including Roderick Strong,
said Roderick
who definitely has two thumbs, said Roderick Strong. And I'm thinking we'll get that match next week. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
I was about to say, we've already got a pretty decent sized card for next week, but that would be an awesome main event.
Decent sized and great are two different things. You have seen
actually that'd be best for kicking off the show, I think.
You have seen plenty of WWE pay-per-views with very decent sized cards, but the quality was not there. Well, not in the card.
Colin shares my sentiments about seeing Kyle O'Reilly again.
KO, nice. KOR.
King of the Ring.
Karrion Kross and Scarlett, they have this video promo, best I can describe it, super noir. Got this music going.
From the old Judgment Day pay-per-views from WWE. It's a Doors cover, I believe. No, it's just the old Judgment Day theme.
They are calling out...
they already said he took care of Ciampa, but...
Well, he's still poking the bear.
Yeah.
Because though he took care of him, he'll still be back, right?
Yeah, and that's going to be a match we'll probably get somewhere down the road.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. Mm-hmm. This is super cool. It was not necessarily great because of Scarlett, like the entrance was last week.
Oh, yeah.
But in its own little cinematic promo way, it was pretty great, so it's worth seeing. Speaking of promos, this one not necessarily so great in production. Dakota
Nate Spain's
Kai.
in here.
Hey, what up, Nate? Thank you for joining us. Again, Dakota Kai promo. This covers all the way back to her heel turn, all the way through teaming up with Raquel, former Reina Gonzalez, who rolls up on a bike. And
It was nothing new. Dakota Kai looking hot, talking about how she didn't get nearly as much coverage about her recovery as Tegan Nox did, and even in her return was overshadowed by Tegan Nox. So Tegan Nox being mentioned a lot means we're going to be getting Kai and Nox again.
I'm okay with this. It wasn't, like you said, anything new, but it was okay, and it was filler, and it reminded us that we've got Dakota Kai on the roster somewhere, and she's got Raquel Gonzalez with her, which essentially makes her a new character. Mm-hmm. We said this before with other chicks.
She's the Diesel to Dakota Kai's Shawn Michaels.
Until her, short-lived and then leaving with Jazzy Gabbert, Jenny became, a whole new character to be dealt with on NXT UK just by adding Jazzy Gabbert as her bodyguard. So, cool. Let's see. We get an interview backstage with Swerve, and he's having a match tonight with Jack Gallagher. This will be their final match in the tournament. He is at 1-1. Jack Gallagher is at 0-2. Gallagher's already out of the tournament.
He's just there as a spoiler.
Yeah, this is to see whether or not Swerve still has a shot. If he can do what somebody did earlier.
Jake Atlas?
Yeah, if he can do what Atlas did earlier and get himself at 2 wins, he's still got a shot. This match is going to be a little bit later, but I don't know. He kind of singles himself out here, and he's starting to sound kind of like a heel a little bit. What do you think about him here?
I really liked it. He cuts an awesome promo. And then he throws so much shade on these other wrestlers that it's frightening. First off, he clearly throws shade on Tony Nese because he says anybody that goes 0-3 shouldn't even be a wrestler anymore.
Yeah, he said if I couldn't even get 1 win in this tournament, I'd just quit being a wrestler. He says everything's coming together, and he's kind of sliding through this pretty smooth, and this next match is going to go smooth, and he's going to get the win, and blah blah blah. But not only did he throw shade on the guy in the earlier match that now went 0-3 and didn't get a single win, Tony Nese, but he's also throwing shade at Jack Gallagher, who's currently sitting at 0-2. Like I said, he's already out. So this is fun. Let's move on. Triple H and Shawn Michaels, for some reason, are backstage. They have a big announcement. I tell you what, I guess it is a big announcement. In lieu of William Regal being able to be there, they are there. And what's the announcement, Jerry?
We are getting an NXT takeover at the start of next month.
What's it called, Jerry?
In Your House, in commemoration of the 25-year anniversary of the first In Your House.
Well, that one was today.
Well, even then, they're saying
today was the anniversary of it.
Well, it's in lieu of it.
In lieu.
Yes.
We love that word.
Lieu. Eluding.
So yeah, June 7th, it is a Sunday, NXT Takeover in Your House.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Finn Balor versus Cameron Grimes. This is the match we came to see tonight.
Oh yes, and they did not disappoint.
Not really. Although I don't have any fucking notes till the end. But the end was pretty satisfying.
Oh yeah,
just saying.
It finally capped off a story that we've been waiting for at least the past couple weeks. So,
and a short story that we got over the last week.
Yeah. So Cameron Grimes and Finn Balor, both they're about equal size, except for Finn Balor's a little more fine-tuned, muscle-wise and everything. Looked that same way when we met him in Toronto. But what ends up happening here?
When what, Jerry? He makes me do this all the time.
You should have it always queued up anyway.
It's always be queued up when we met him in Toronto.
But it was a very smash mouth match. It was very physical, a lot of back and forth, and it was great. Cameron Grimes obviously went straight for the instant finisher, so that was really great. And a surprise ending. It really was. Like, so Grimes got a win that he really, really needed. Granted, with the help of something else, but
Something else.
yeah.
In the chat room, Nate Spain says, "I can't wait for this takeover. It feels like it's been so long." That's because it has been so long.
Yes, we got the quote unquote Tampa takeover.
We're already. No, we didn't. We didn't get a takeover for that.
Well, we got the matches for the takeover.
It's spaced out over 3 fucking weeks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I
there
went.
wasn't a takeover.
That's why I went like this.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. Israel Diaz says, "Best match of the night was Prince versus Grimes." I agree. And same here, Nate. Can't wait for the next takeover. I think we're all celebrating.
We are already building the matches in our head as we go along, and this match definitely built up one for takeover.
Well, this was a fine match, pretty fast paced. Grimes goes for that instant finisher like he does. You know what? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
At this point, he's won 2 or 3 matches with that instant finisher, and if it's not off the original attempt, he'll try it 3 moves in and still get it. So he goes for it, but he doesn't succeed. This match carries on for a while. The end of the match comes when Finn Balor goes to get in the ring, and Damian Priest has arrived. He's there, and the ref doesn't see as he gets out that nightstick, man, and just wham! Smacks it into the leg of Balor as he's going through the ropes, and Grimes just runs up on him, delivers a cave-in. He jumps
on
to
his
his shoulders. He does a running jump onto his chest and pushes him down into this double stomp. No, he scaled to his shoulders, man.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. 1, 2, 3. Grimes gets the victory here. This is great.
It's grind time.
Finn Balor can stand the loss. It doesn't make him look bad because it was because of the nightstick to the leg. And
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest gets in the ring afterwards, beats up on Balor, puts a chair in there, does the reckoning onto the chair, then gets him and says, basically he admits to being the guy that attacked him 3 weeks ago.
It's like, this is just as satisfying as when I took you out 3 weeks ago.
He says he wants his name to live on forever. Might as well take out a prince in the meantime, or during the endeavor. That's poetic. He should have said it like that. He didn't. That's my words. Anyway, he didn't think it would be so fun to do it, though, just like he did 3 weeks ago when he took him out.
So there you go, right there. That's your first match that we're going to probably have for the next takeover.
That whole match and the whole sequence, after match and everything, was just so satisfying.
Yes, it was. That should have actually been the main event, I think.
Damian Priest was the perfect person for this, except for the fact that they're both kind of heels. So, but as far as
Finn Balor's kind of an anti-hero at this point.
They both need somebody to move on to for a program, and this is perfect for both of them.
It'll be an excellent match.
And we still have the possibility of Walter and the UK Championship if and when we can get him to the US.
But it looks like any pretense for that match has been kind of put on hold.
Jack Gallagher, a pretty pissed off one, comes out. And Isaiah Swerve Skeet, whose logo still looks like somebody jizzed his name onto the Tron. Jizzed on the Tron. He's pretty confident, comes out, and before he even makes it to the ring, gets attacked by Tony Nese, who's also pretty pissed off at him for the comments he made earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He throws him into the ring post / steps, so he gets into the match, and he's fucked up, but the ref's like, hey, do you want to do this still? And he's like, I have to, because if I forfeit this match, I go 1 and 2, and I'm done. And it doesn't help Gallagher at all. He'll go 1 and 2, and he's still done. But, so, Swerve Scott is confidently fighting for his survival here. He's going in hurt. And what do you think about the match, Jerry?
I thought it was an excellent match. I already had that looming feeling that Swerve was not going to win the match, and Gallagher was actually just going to be the spoiler in it. But what ended up happening here was an actual, almost amounted to a comeback, but Gallagher was just so focused on knocking shit out that it didn't happen.
Hey, Devi, if I get Jerry to twerk, will you change your thumbs down to a thumbs up? And, since I did it for you, share us on, you pick, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Pick one of your social media ones.
I am not twerking.
I will get him to do it somehow. You might have to increase to 2 or 3 social networking sites, but guarantee me at least the thumbs up, take away the thumbs down, and 1 share, and I will attempt to get this done. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but make me a deal here, sir.
Well, somebody's deleting his comments.
Those probably weren't any good comments. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Meanwhile, Swerve loses, man. Like, he took that beating up front. He didn't have enough game in the match. This is the second time he's hit his finisher,
the
house call, and not gotten a pinfall off of it. Gallagher was just too pissed to go out. He's going out fighting. Let's see. I've got a few notes here. Jack Gallagher hits that running drop kick into the corner for a near fall almost instantly into the match. Somewhere in there he goes for it again. Swerve dodges it and hits that house call off of it, but only gets the near fall. In the end, Gallagher hits this discus forearm that just levels Swerve. Gets the pinfall, 1, 2, 3. And neither one of them move on. Now they're both fucked.
But this sets up for a nice match between Swerve Scott and Tony Nese that we'll probably get for probably like a dark match, like a kickoff show for Takeover. That'd be an awesome Takeover kickoff match.
So Caden Carter versus Aaliyah, who has a sweet A.
Oh yeah, she's got
on her
sweet
Titantron. She's got a sweet A. We talk about occasionally, their logos, and some of them have really cool logos. Some of them look like somebody skeeted out their name. In this case, Aaliyah's logo is really cool looking, really sweet looking. Anyway, Caden Carter versus Aaliyah. She is here to work her magic and impress Robert Stone, who does come out during this match to view, and Caden Carter's there just to get the win, man. She has a pretty sweet intro.
Mm-hmm.
She looks good. She's got some decent moves. I've got a few notes here.
The main story for this was the fact that Robert Stone comes out and Aaliyah is seemingly out to impress him so she can get his managerial services just like Chelsea Green. Because he's doing so much for Chelsea Green's career, I guess, at this point. I don't know. But Aaliyah is one of my favorite female wrestlers here because she's got the sass to her and she's got the Canadian wrestling style, which is always awesome.
She's bougie.
Yeah, she's bougie. And, that's what do you call her? Mauro Ranallo called her the bougie banshee. So.
DeFee says that's a bet. You got to twerk, Jerry. If you twerk, he's going to change it to a thumbs up and share us. You get your arch nemesis to actually share us.
He's not my arch nemesis.
Do you have any other worse nemesis than the guy that always taunts you on our live feeds?
That fucking guy from the People's Wrestling Network.
I don't think he's that bad. He doesn't come on to all of our shows and do that. DeVee comes on to a lot of shows and taunts you, man. I'm just saying. It's a first world problem, but you definitely have it with him. Anyway. Just saying. I'm saying you can turn him around with a twerk.
Well, that involves me turning around, and I ain't gonna fucking do it.
I do have one sweet move in this match. I think it was Aaliyah goes for Carter goes for an Okada roll into a pinfall, and Aaliyah kicks out of it, but she kicks Carter into the ropes, so she does a springboard off the bottom rope, comes back, and does a drop kick to Aaliyah, who's just sitting up. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, Robert Stone comes out to watch, and Aaliyah goes to show off. She goes up top. Carter pulls her off the top, and then does this inverted figure 4 kind of weird ass move.
It looks painful.
Yeah. Yeah, she kind of locks it in, and then does a flip to really lock it in, I guess. And then cinches it in.
It kind of reminds me of when a snake grabs onto like its prey, then does this twisting type motion to lock it in the rest of the way. So,
DeVee says, "Bruh, I love Jerry." He says, "No homo."
Oh.
He wants to see you twerk though.
It's weird.
That's slightly.
Yeah, it's slightly weird.
Robert Stone doesn't want to have anything to do with Aaliyah now
because she's a loser.
She stops him on his way up the ramp, grabs his arm. He's like, "Whoa, don't touch
Let's let go." Not
And
right now. I think that's what he says. Like, not right now.
Dinner with the Garganos. I like this one better than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry?
Well, at this point, like in this whole conversation, we get two potential matches set up, but at the same time, it could easily be turned into a tag match between two couples. So, because Gargano automatically is just watching his match against Dijakovic and just saying how, he's facing off against that jabroni, that chump, and whatnot.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yep, he's a stud.
He beat Dijakovic, and it was super easy, and he can't believe that it took Lee so long to definitively beat him, or why he had any problems with him. And so he's basically saying he could beat Lee. They turn it to Candice LeRae, who starts putting down Mia Yim for getting these shots. She got the golden ticket to get to face Charlotte Flair. And then it turns back to Johnny Gargano, who's putting down Lee some more. And this is obviously like them going after another couple.
Mm-hmm.
Because they said things are going to be their way, or you can get out of the way. Or
the Gargano way.
Gargano way.
I really like it because, like, they're having this, like, nice, peaceful conversation, and every now and then it cuts to that neutral space of them in black and white, and it's all grainy and weird looking, like something out of a fucking Ring video.
Nate Spain says Gargano versus Lee at TakeOver for the North American title, where Gargano is the first ever two-time North American champion. I'm down. I'm down.
Cool.
And then Lee can move on to the NXT Championship where he belongs.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
but that bothers me though, because Gargano says he wants to be on top of like NXT, and
you know what? Gargano gets to be on top of Candice LeRae, and he should be grateful for it, and that's good enough. They do say it's our way or none. I like that phrase. It's our way or none. So yeah,
Gargano way.
Next week, Drake Maverick versus Kushida, Akira Tozawa versus Son of Phantasma. This is going to potentially conclude our NXT Cruiserweight Championship round robin tournament.
Yeah.
So we look forward to that. And Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai is made official. We do not get word whether the match between, who was it earlier? Crap, I can't remember.
Chris May says, when will the next takeover be? Did I miss something? Seriously? Did you watch the show?
Yeah. June 7th.
Sunday.
NXT TakeOver
in your house.
In your house. What was the other match?
I wonder if they're going to have like the old setup and everything for it with the old house.
Oh.
That'd be so awesome.
Roderick Strong versus the creepy guy.
Dexter Loomis. Hopefully we'll get that this next week. We're not sure though.
Anyway, no announcement for that, but we're still hoping for it. That brings us to the main event, folks. Timothy Thatcher versus Matt Riddle. Both of these guys already wrestled. Matt Riddle got the worst of it.
Matt Riddle wrestled more.
Thatcher looks pissed. Riddle looks pissed. And that's pretty much the match. They're both fighting each other like they're pissed.
A lot of grappling. A lot of submission moves being thrown on in this match.
I agree with the gentleman earlier. The best match of the night was Balor versus Grimes. This one should have been midway.
I was about to say, this should have been a main event. No, I mean the Balor versus Grimes should have been the main event.
What should have happened was the tag team match should have been the main event, and this match should have been the main event for next week.
That could have worked too.
Because then you would have, anyway. It was okay for what it was. Thatcher looked good. Riddle, of course, always looks good. Even when he looks like he's getting beat up. Especially, I guess. I've got a few notes, but what are your thoughts before we break down the main event?
It's pretty much what I was expecting, because you have like two extremely technical European-based, more or less, wrestlers, and Riddle could have easily like just dropped the match to Thatcher and made him look even more powerful, but at the same time, Riddle has his way of actually putting him over without actually losing the match. The whole thing was just a whole bunch of physicality. It's closest I've actually seen Riddle losing in quite some time.
See, Cleaver says, I see a submission match between Matt and Tim soon, possibly a takeover in your house. May says a submission match would be the best way to go. And DeVee says, I want Jerry to be on top of me. Quoting it from the chat room.
No homo, I guess.
No homo. No homo. He just wants you to be on top of it.
Yeah, there's nothing weird about that. Just wants to see me twerk and wants me.
It's either that or 37 weighted blankets. So he chooses Jerry. You know what? Jerry comes preheated, so I would say it's probably cheaper than 37. Have you priced a weighted blanket? Those fuckers are expensive.
While we break down this match, you guys go ahead and put your ratings for the match in the comments and any other questions you may have for us.
So the end of this match, Thatcher counters a floating bro with his knees, goes into the arm bar. Matt counters out of it, still gets back into the arm bar and then into a leg bar. And then Riddle rolls up the leg bar into a pinfall where he stacks up Thatcher, gets the 1, 2, 3, and Matt Riddle wins. Not really a satisfying ending at all. Thatcher attacks Riddle after match, beats him down good, puts him in the arm bar for a while. Does that, he calls it the divorce court, which is that where you grab the arm and you bring it down into like a, I don't know how to explain this
one. It's almost like an arm flatliner.
Yeah. It's like a flatliner without your arm across their chest.
Yeah.
Anyway, he does that, puts on the armbar some more. We go out of the shot with him doing the armbar still in that fucked up smile, sadistic smile. It's not even a good sadistic smile.
They could have easily made that in the middle of the night and just put the
yeah, because nobody cares enough.
Yeah, because Balor versus Grimes has more of implications to it at this point.
We were just introduced to this feud, and they so that's our main event, folks.
Mm-hmm.
And around here, we like to rate the main event using the General's 5-star rating system. Jerry, out of 5 stars, where do you rate Matt Riddle versus Timothy Thatcher, the long-awaited grudge match in tonight's main event?
I'm going to go ahead and actually give it about a 3.5 because they actually more or less made this storyline overnight with it, or like just in one night. You had the breakup of the team, you had backstage attacks, and then you had the actual match to finish it all out. But even then, now it looks like the feud's going to continue, which is fine by me, because this also could still lead Thatcher into joining up with Imperium. So that'd be another person in the group, and almost like a leader type figure to have while Walter is overseas. So that's cool with me. I'm not going to give it the extra quarter, though, because the women's matches kind of fell a little flat, I think, or at least one of them did. The Indy Hartwell, Tegan Knox one. And, I'm going to go ahead and stick with 3.5.
Well, before I give my rating, Nate Spain gives it 4 out of 5 stars. Thought the ending was a little shaky, but it set up another match, so that was good. Israel Diaz gives it 3 out of 5. They should have built this breakup for next week's main event. I agree. The Holiday Christopher May says 3.75, and that's off of an extra quarter for the Balor match, just the match itself.
And I get 5 for 5 do that. DV.
Jerry gets a 5 for 5. DV, what do you give the main event though?
Seriously,
that's what we're rating around here. I mean, he's great.
Look at this guy, yeah.
Yeah, 5 out of 5. Sure, why not?
Sure,
why not?
Let's fuck up for action. 6 out of 5.
Dude, the two of us together don't make 5 out of 5 stars.
No.
Anyway, I think that's true. That was terrible. All right.
And Cleaver gives it 3 3/4.
Cool. I don't know what I give it. I know I won't give it an extra quarter star off the back of it. This show was like basically skippable. You had the biggest, noteworthy event in the changing of the tag titles at the very beginning of the show. Now, finding out that Damian Priest was the one that attacked Finn Balor was pretty big news, and it was great that Cameron Grimes got a win off of that whole angle, coming around.
And we get the takeover announced.
But the show as a whole was just meh. I'm sure AEW was leaps and bounds better than NXT this week, and that's sad to say. So I love NXT, but this week was meh. The main event was meh. It was not the right match. It was not the right time. It was thrown together. I don't want to give it any credit for story. I'm going to land it at 3.5. 3.5 stars just because the match was good enough.
Yeah. All right, so with this whole influx going on now.
Fuck that, 3 1/4. I'm giving it 3 1/4.
All right.
Wow. Keep talking me down, Jerry. Go ahead.
Because I opened my mouth. 3 stars.
Well, no, I realized good starts at 3.
Yeah.
Not at 3 1/2. It was better than regular good, but it was not 3 1/2. It's definitely 3 1/4.
So where do you think Eichner and Bartel go from here? Who do you think is going to be the next challengers for them?
Let them soak it up for a week.
No, I
three.
mean seriously, there's no other face tag teams there. I don't think.
All right, so these guys are NXT UK and are not somebody that we would have expected to be around right now.
No. They're just kind of stuck.
We don't have Jordan Devlin around. We don't have Walter around. Who the fuck knows who they have in the States right now? We could see the Hunt come in. I mean, there's any number of tag teams that could get put together. Or that...
You know what'd be fun? Ricochet and Cedric Alexander come down. That would actually be pretty doable, I think. And that would be an excellent match.
Yeah. Yeah. I would prefer to see them use somebody that's already there.
Well, they'd have to build another team then.
Let's put Swerve, and since he's kind of starting to go heel, put him together with what's his name, the Hawaiian guy, Kona Reeves.
Kona Reeves.
Yes, Kona Reeves.
Would that
I keep trying to get them find something for them to do with Kona Reeves.
So what do you guys think?
If
you have an idea of who you want to face off against Bartel and Eichner, leave it in the messages real quick while we do our little plugs.
What about the big Indian fellas? Says Colin the Cleaver.
Oh, the induced share. I'm pretty sure they just got sent packing already, or just taken off TV and repackaged somehow, because they're not really, even with Malcolm Bivens at this point, they're not really getting over.
Yeah, it's their ring. Well, they haven't had an audience to get over in front of, but definitely their ring presence isn't where even a newbie tag team should be. They've been thrown together a little quickly, I feel like.
It's like watching two of the great Khali's right when he first showed up.
Chris May says Finn Balor and a partner, but who? Ciampa.
I know they just kind of had a match, but maybe put him with Grimes. Him and Grimes would actually be a damn good.
Right now he's sort of on a precipice between heel and face, because now he's going against Damian Priest, who's definitely a heel right now, especially because his trademark is using that weapon.
Yep.
Who else is a lone wolf that teeters on that balance a lot? Tommaso Ciampa.
Yep. But Ciampa's in his feud with Cross right now, and that's probably another match we'll get for TakeOver.
You cross over some feuds, and you get people in somebody's business and form a tag team that's unlikely, and somehow they get a couple of wins that just came with the storyline, but now they're a tag team that's 2-0 or 3-0, and they get put in a tag team championship position for it, and they win them, and there you go.
Or maybe Austin Theory comes back and they push him as a face instead.
There's a lot of ways to go about
this. Oh,
this.
yeah, there's plenty of ways to go about it. That's one of those situations.
There are tag teams that are already there, like Ever-Rise.
Nate Spain says, Grizzly Young Veterans, are they in the States?
Oh, man,
God, we wish.
That would be really cool.
That'd be a sick match.
To have an NXT UK main event for the tag team titles.
For the American ones, yeah. That would be pretty crazy.
So, anyway.
Dominic Dijakovic and Balor. That would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Pretty much the only common goal they have is just winning gold, and that would actually work out pretty well.
Cool. So that brings us to the end of this episode of What's NXT Live. Thank you for joining us live in the chat room.
Live!
I think at some point we had 9 or 10 people. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you for watching on demand. As always, to all of our fans that we do this video for, all couple dozen of you. We really appreciate your viewership. And
you guys are a carton of egg of awesome.
Yeah, so thank you for viewing. Thank you for watching. We're going to try and do something, I think, tomorrow, probably live as well, for NXT UK. It seems like there might be some of these gems that we have missed that they didn't produce or put on television up to now. So if it's new matches, we will review them, and we'll bring that to you tomorrow. Hopefully we can get somebody else to do it, be up on the big screen. However, if you would like to be up on the screen. Help us review a future episode of NXT UK. Come on and call in and do one of our general wrestling discussions with us.
Yeah.
No, that was just your phone this
time. I forgot. The delay.
It's gotten me before too, brother.
That's something we didn't mention about this show. It's the fact that the announcing kind of sucked.
Nate Spain's saying his goodbyes. See you next time. See you, Nate. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Jerry's not twerking.
Anyway, if you'd like to join us on and help review one of our many videos, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. I'm on Twitter at Stefan R. Osborne, StefanRosborne, and on Instagram at osborne.stefan. You can find Jerry on Twitter
at Gerald_JSJ, my Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR.
Exclamation point.
I have a t-shirt made up at the Greg Cherry brand on Teespring. If you want to go check that out, that's awesome. I don't get any royalties or anything fucking for it, but I don't give a shit. If you're wearing my shirt, I'm a happy camper. Also, we have like Colin the Cleaver Andrew. He runs our Facebook group. No, I run our Facebook group. He runs the Instagram page at Aftermatch_Wrestling and Aftermatch Rest on Twitter, where we take the ling out of wrestling.
Whatever the fuck that means.
That's a mouthful. I'm trying to get that all the time.
So I'm telling you, man. I'm trying to shorten it. I don't know if you guys at home have noticed. Or at your homes, because this is my home, so. I know you're not here at my home. It feels like you are.
Here with us.
Not really. I'm really talking basically to myself at the camera.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's red in the phone.
So, that's Twitter and Instagram.
Patreon!
Oh, yeah. Patreon, Osborne, or Stefan R. Osborne, if you'd like to help the channel. But mostly if you've got some time, we've got a few goals for you. If you really like us and you want to help us out, it just takes a few clicks. And I know that sucks. Because, you got to downgrade your screen and then move things around. And then your screen
Are we not worth the effort?
But there's a like button over here underneath me. If you like this video, do us a favor. Click the like button. If you don't like the video, we'll be fair. If you don't like the video, there is a don't like button, a thumbs down button next to that. Hit it.
Hit that bad boy like crazy, but leave in the comments why you don't like it.
Yeah, do us a favor. If you're only clicking it now because we told you to, leave down in the comments, what you didn't like. And we'll take it as constructive criticism, and maybe you won't see it on our next episode.
Or maybe you won't see us. Who knows?
Also, if you like all of our shows, all of our episodes, everything, there's a subscribe button over there underneath Jerry. And that'll subscribe you to the channel. And if you click the bell icon that's next to it, it'll let you know when these videos go live. And if you're free, you can come watch us live, join us in the chat room, ask us questions, leave us comments. We try to get to you. I think we're getting a lot better at that.
Yep. Starting next week, though, we'll be back at the 6 a.m. time slot, or about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning.
It's gonna be mornings again.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Spain says I'll definitely be here tomorrow. Love the UK reviews. Thank you, Nate. DeV says I got dollar bills for you. Twerk, Jerry.
I don't see any dollars.
There's no dollars here. I don't keep cash on me.
I don't see any dollars.
And meanwhile, I'm not gonna pay dollars to see Jerry twerk.
I wouldn't pay dollars.
I've seen Jerry do more embarrassing things for free.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta be friends with the guy.
I breathe.
Eventually, you'll get there. So what are we going to do for you while you take the time to like and subscribe and share? Share us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We don't ask that you write anything about it. Oh, I love these guys. Check them out or anything like that. All you have to do is click the button and it shares it. And sometimes it'll bring up our description. And if people are like, oh, they do NXT. I like NXT. Let me check these guys out. They might like to watch this bullshit about the show. And you would be helping them find us. That's all I got to say about that. So there's a share button. So it usually
Thank you, Forrest Gump.
It usually takes the longest. I mean, clicking like and clicking subscribe, boom, bam, done. That's all done. But sharing, you got to click share, and it's like, oh, well, what medium do you want to share it on? You got to click a medium, and then it's going to take a minute to log into that app, and then bring it up, and then you got to click share. See, I've already done it once.
Yeah.
I don't even have any good stories from this week. Last week's story was hard to beat. That was fun.
Oh, with the bird?
Hitting the bird with the truck.
The bird's the word.
Yeah, that bird's gone. I'm pretty sure all those other vultures fucking picked it clean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and end it here.
Yeah. let's end it here. Devi says, I'm going to dislike if Jerry doesn't twerk. We know you were going to dislike.
Yeah,
I was trying to get you to change your mind. I was trying to get him to twerk for you. Sorry I couldn't get it done. I'm not going to force him to do it. It's his decision. It's his body, man.
Yeah.
His choice.
Yeah. Unless you're supplying tacos or some shit, I ain't doing nothing.
Anyway, again, thank you for joining us. Please join us tomorrow for the gentleman, Jerry Slaughter, and the Wizard of No DQ, the Rated R viewer, Stefan Osborne. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you in NXT time.